Hi, it's Jill. I'm going to talk about something kind of difficult to talk about, but at the same time super necessary. Very few people know I had FND, which is functional neurological disorder, from late 2020 through 2024, early 2024. I was diagnosed first with a neurological disorder called dystonia because I was found to be having non-epileptic seizures. They were debilitating, and it was really difficult. And I know there are people out there now who have FND who are going through the same thing I went through. And I want to be here to help you understand that it's not a lifelong disability. It can be disabling. I was in bed for 4 months in 2021, and that was a terrible, dark time in my life. But I like to think that some good will come of what I went through. I'm strong, I'm happy, I'm taking care of things on my bucket list. I've rearranged my life. One of the things that I like to say is that I not only have I survived, I have come through this stronger and able to take on anything. Heck, I just went to Turkey, flying by myself to the other side of the world. And I went to a place called Pamukkale, who was on my bucket list forever to go and see. Checked that off, but guess what was there? Around the corner, the same little town, literally 3-mile walk, the gates of hell. I walked 3.8 miles around Pamukkale to go to the gates of hell. And you know what I did? I jumped right over that line, lit a cigarette, and smoked a cigarette at the gates of hell. Even though I'd quit months before, actually years before. I quit smoking in 2022. It's 2025 now. But I lit one up just to prove I walked all this way. I have faced so many obstacles in my life, and I can laugh at saying, I'm here. I've done everything I possibly can. I've survived everything, and I'm even gonna survive gates of hell, my addiction, getting over it, bam. For somebody with FND who couldn't get out of bed years before, it was a dream come true. I want to inspire you, I want to help you, I want to be able to say, hey, if you have FND or you take care of somebody with FND, it's not a life sentence. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of mental anguish while you're going through it. And there's a lot of pain. I know the pain. There's nothing like it. I used to say it's like giving birth to a child every day. But they're just coming through the bottom of my feet, or my leg, or my hip, or my shoulder, or my arms, or my head, wherever the pain seemed to want to lodge, or lodges many places in a day. I don't miss that pain, but I can tell you when I was at the dentist the other day and they said, you know, it's gonna hurt a little bit, and I was thinking, you have no idea what pain is. A little drilling on a tooth, a little noise, nothing compared to the pain that we suffer when we have FND. I really do think that FND, because it's your brain and your nervous system not communicating well, I think your pain is gauged by your brain going back to when you had the most pain you possibly could have had in your entire life. Sending that to where your pain receptacles are or your nervous system issues are, and saying, oh, you're in pain, it must be this pain. That pain is the pain that I know stalks every one of you every day. I hope this helps caregivers understand the person you're taking care of isn't complaining because, oh, it hurts and I need this empathy and this sympathy and I need you to help me through it and I need you to understand. There's no way anyone can understand the pain that an FND patient goes through. It's excruciating. It's beyond words. But you know what? You can look back on it and say, I survived it. I did it. I remember trying to justify there's no painkillers that touch it because it's your brain. And unless you want to be a vegetable and take mind-altering drugs, which may or may not work, it's just gonna hurt. I know, at my worst, I would say to myself in my little head, because I was nonverbal for some of those times, it's not gonna last forever. God's not going to give me more than I can handle. And man, he's telling me I can handle a hell of a lot. And that's what you're doing. You're handling a hell of a lot. Stress has a lot to do with FND. So don't stress out. It is so easy to say that, and it is so hard to live it. There were 3 different people when I had FND that had YouTubes. I remember watching them thinking, how did you put on that makeup? You're shaking really bad. You're moving everywhere. Your arms are flailing. How did you get that makeup on? Even if you had somebody else put it on, how does that happen? Because you're still flailing and they're trying to line your eyes. And I got so distracted with what was around them that I lost their message. Looking back, I think their message was, look at me suffer. And I don't want to do that. That's why I waited until after I went through it, went back to all my physicians, did the big U-turn and went back to all the doctors and said, hey, you think I'm ready to drive? Look at me, I can walk up and down your hallway without a problem. We can sit and have a conversation together and they're not big gaps. And there's not me stuttering over words, and there's not me trying to speak in another accent, because somehow if I spoke in an accent purposefully, I could get my messages across and speak clearly. When if I tried to speak by myself, I wouldn't. I had a situation where my voice would rise octaves, and I would sound like a little child, or, you know, many times I thought, oh my gosh, I think I sound like a little fairy, little ethereal person running around. Nope. I sounded like a grating child saying things, help me, I need to go to the bathroom, in this high-pitched, awful voice. My husband used to say, don't talk to me in that screechy voice. And I would think, I don't know how I'm supposed to speak. That's what's coming out. And that's when I realized that if I tried to speak with like a brogue accent or some other way, over enunciation maybe, I was able to talk. It's my hope that we can keep going on these discussions, and I can go on live streaming, hopefully, if I can figure it out. So that I can help people with FND and help them understand it's not your fault. Don't know exactly if it's luck of the draw, but I know it's not your fault. And you need to keep it in mind. And your caregivers need to keep it in mind. It's not an act, it's not a show. No one chooses to be bedridden. May God bless you. And I look forward to having many conversations about FND